Major Rhonda Cornum was captured when the helicopter she was in was shot down. 3 of the crew were killed in the crash. 5, including Cornum, were taken prisoner. Despite a broken arm, a bullet wound, and sexual assault, Cornum, now a colonel, persevered.
I think for myself it was training in terms of having been exposed to many of the things that I might face, and it's also a history of success. When you've been successful at whether it's college or sports or graduate school or medical school or whatever, then you have the expectation of yourself that you're going to be successful and you'll make it through any kind of bad experience, and I had absolute confidence that I would be successful.
Colonel Cornum says her thoughts during captivity were most often about her family.
Because for the person who is a prisoner, you're either okay or you're not, and you know, and your family has to wonder, and I think that would be harder. And talking to my husband when I got back, that was the hardest thing he ever did, was having to call our daughter and say, we don't know where Mother is, she might not come back.
Operations Desert Shield and Storm brought home to the American public new and difficult realities. Military women will, more and more, be among the prisoners, the wounded, and the dead. When Recon continues, a look at where and how women are serving in the 21st century. The challenges for military women in the 21st century are many, and job restrictions few. Today, only jobs related to direct combat and those aboard Navy submarines remain closed to women. Still, in places like Iraq and Afghanistan, women are finding themselves in environments that are dangerous, simply because there are no real front lines. 23-year-old senior airman Stacy Hoffman is on her first tour in Iraq. She and her military police colleagues are responsible for security of the International Zone, formerly called the Green Zone, in Baghdad. It's the heavily guarded area where U.S. occupation authorities live and work.
How about that high five?
And every day presents possible dangers.
We get mortar attacked a lot, rocket attacks, E-beds, suicide bombers, everything pretty close sometimes.
Another challenge these women face on a regular basis has to do with men. Not their fellow service members, but many of the Iraqi men they interact with who aren't used to women in authority positions.
I try to keep a low tone in dealing with them, try not to look them in their face, try to keep with the culture so that it's not offensive, but at the same time they still need to know that we have a job to do and we're going to do the job and it doesn't change.
But Sergeant Bergtorf is used to a male-dominated work environment. When she's not serving with the Air Force Reserves, her uniform is still that of a police officer back home in Kansas City.
Everybody has to establish themselves, but women do have to, I think, go a little above and beyond to make sure that the men are confident in our abilities. We have shooting situations at home. We get into areas where bullets are flying. That's a lot of life.
The possibility of attack is something all military people serving in Iraq must face each day. But for some, that possibility becomes a reality. In March 2005, Sergeant Leanne Hester was part of a military police guard for a supply convoy when it was ambushed by insurgents using assault rifles and rocket-propelled grenades. The 23-year-old Army reservist led her security team into a flanking position where they returned fire. 3 of the enemy were killed by shots fired from Hester's M4 rifle. The actions of Sergeant Hester and other squad members saved many soldiers' lives. 3 months after the attack, Sergeant Hester became the first woman to receive the Silver Star since World War II. 6 other soldiers with Hester's unit also earned awards for defeating the ambush, including Specialist Ashley Pullen, who was awarded the Bronze Star. Military women have been flying fighter aircraft since 1993, but there is still plenty of territory yet uncharted by female pilots. Captain Nicole Malachowski will be the first to venture onto new turf in 2006 as the first female member of the Air Force Thunderbirds aerial demonstration team.
The idea of joining the Thunderbirds actually didn't really pop into my head until my husband actually brought it up. And I looked at him, I said, do you really think that's something I can do? And he said, I absolutely believe that's something you can do.
Captain Malachowski has been flying fighters for 7 years.
The biggest honor for me really was being able to fly over the Iraqi territory on the 30th of January, that really historic election day. It's that kind of stuff that makes you really proud to be a part of the Air Force team, the American team.
And she's looking forward to the new challenges and pressures that come with being a Thunderbird.
It takes a lot of different people with different backgrounds to make up a great team, and it's really all about getting the mission done.
Two women who have achieved even greater heights are retired Air Force Colonel Eileen Collins and Navy Captain Wendy Lawrence. In 1995, as a lieutenant colonel, Collins became the first woman to pilot the space shuttle.
3 engines up and burning.
4 years later, she became the first to command a mission.
And liftoff of Space Shuttle Discovery, beginning America's new journey to the moon, Mars, and beyond.
In 2005, both faced the challenge of being part of NASA's first mission after the Columbia tragedy. Colonel Collins as mission commander and Captain Lawrence as one of the mission specialists.
National Space Station.
Both astronauts cite the opportunities military service presented as reasons for where they are today.
The military is a great place to be. You get a lot of responsibility and you get a lot of support, and I liked the fact that, you know, what I did in the Air Force was I really felt like I was making an impact.
And opportunities will come your way. You need to have your eyes open, you need to be looking for them, and when they come your way, you need to be ready to take advantage of them. When you take advantage of that opportunity and walk through that door, make sure you walk through that door in such a way that you leave it open for the folks behind you.
Today, women are integrated into nearly every facet of military operations, and they're also paying the added price that goes with that progress. As of the end of October, nearly 50 of the more than 2,000 Americans killed during Operations Iraqi Freedom and Enduring Freedom have been women. Although a few were accidental deaths, most were the result of enemy attacks. None of these women served in direct combat jobs, which are still closed to women. Yet, in wars where there are no real front lines, dangers face everyone in uniform. And that's brought the debate of women in combat to the forefront once again. Some may ask, are women ready and able to take on that new role? Should they be given the choice? Several of the women we spoke with for this program gave us their thoughts.
I think that the women need to know that if they choose to challenge that role, that it's a great thing, but they need to be able to stand up and do the job.
If you can handle it, you can handle it. But I know a lot of people can't. A lot of women can't. They throw the I'm a woman card and, you know, let me go home. But there's people out there, there's women out there that stick to it, that stay strong.
A loss is a loss, whether it's a woman or a man. And if there's women that want to step up to the plate and be over here and be a part of it and defend their country, then I think they should have every opportunity to do just that.
Women who join the military know the risks and are insulted if people try to prevent them from taking risk, because the risk is everywhere, as demonstrated by the Twin Towers. The risk is everywhere. And so if people sign up to defend the nation and defend the Constitution, then don't try to limit their ability to do that.
And if they are in harm's way because of the career pathway they have chosen, well, I don't feel that the life of a woman is any more valuable than the life of a son or a husband. They are both of value to us as family and to us as a nation.
Long overdue recognition of service and sacrifice, up next on Recon.